Hey everyone, sorry for the lighting if it's not very good. It's late at night and I'm finally getting to put together this week's webinar. We're going to be talking today about referral networking, with other professionals, but who do you refer to? And who do you collaborate with to get referrals from? I hear from a lot of not just OTs, but a lot of people in the aging in place niche and senior care niche who hadn't thought of a certain type of person to associate with. So I wanted to talk about the referral audience that you can reach. Most families don't actually look for aging in place. It's not a phrase. When I mention the phrase aging in place, I get more questions about what is that. So, and the truth is, we all know, I think, that most humans are reactive, not proactive. So they tend not to do anything until something happens. So they don't begin to look for any of these services, what's available, any of that. And they're not even sure who to reach out for. And that's one of the reasons why I built the Aging in Place directory, because I wanted to make it easier for people to understand. Look at all these amazing services that are out there. You just have to look and find the one that works for you. But for the professionals, it's important to associate themselves or yourself with the other services that you don't provide. That way you become the Rolodex, you become the person that that family trusts and calls and refers to, because you provided not only your services, but the other person's services too. It sort of reminds me of that movie, The Miracle on 34th Street, where I think it was Macy's. If they didn't have something, they referred their customers to, what was it, Gimbel's, I think, another department store. Because if they didn't have it, then they referred it to them, and people were just like, hey, I'm going to shop at Macy's all the time because you guys are looking out for me. It's sort of like that. At least that's what I think of. Okay, so the key point is becoming the person that the other professionals also think of when a family needs help with their services. Because if you refer, particular plumber or decluttering company or a geriatrician or elder law attorney, of course then your name is going to keep popping up in their frame of mind, and they're going to refer to you. Referrals can be a tit for tat process. Just don't expect that, especially at the beginning, because it does take time to build trust with anybody. So one way you can look at getting more referrals is to stop asking for referrals. Instead, start just building the trust process. It's sort of like, becoming friends first and then taking the next step. So many professionals, many people, period, feel awkward asking for referrals. But the good news is you really don't have to, because remember, selling is not really working out so well. What works out better, because we're sold to every single day, what tends to work out better is educating. So if you're educating, you're not really selling, yet at the same time you're letting people know about the services and everything that you offer without selling. It is more natural, and I personally think it's more effective. You can let me know what you think. I think the old mindset is I need more referrals. Well, this framing tends to put the focus on what you need, and it can feel like transactional versus you're thinking that you should be thinking about what they need. The better question is how can I help, or how can we help these families in different ways? Okay, what can I do for them, and what can you do for them? And this reframes the position. This reframe positions you as a collaborative partner. Well, actually, it positions both of you as collaborative partners. What the partners need from you, what the other people that you are associating with, that you have in your Rolodex, what they need from you is they need to trust that when they refer to you, that you're going to do what you do in a very good way. Because if you don't, that reflects back on them. It's like, recommending a restaurant to someone, raving about it. They go to the restaurant and it's horrible service and the food is cold and whatever else. And you feel terrible. And you're like, well, I'm never referring anything to anybody again. So instead of I need more referrals, think I need more trusted professionals in my circle here. So who should belong in your referral circle? One, healthcare professionals can be everything from OTs, hospice. Don't forget mental health professionals, dementia care consultants, care managers, geriatricians, social workers, and there's so many more. People that work with hearing aids. I think there are companies that provide it, and then and I can't think of the word, audiologists. They're audiologists. There's just so many different healthcare professionals that you can associate with. It just depends on where you live and what the seniors, what the older population in your area is mostly using. Home and housing experts, everything from realtors to contractors, of course, we all know that. But don't forget senior move managers. Don't forget people that do decluttering and organizing. Don't forget smart home installers and landscapers. Those are all very important. And of course, there's much more as well. Legal and financial. We all know elder law attorneys and financial planners. But what about guardianship and conservatory attorneys, veterans benefit specialists, Medicare advisors, Medicaid planning specialists, assisted living placement specialists, or I think they also call them senior placement specialists as well. I can't recall. But anyway, all of that and more. And then community and support. We all know, home care agencies and local senior centers and adult daycare centers. But what about Meals on Wheels programs? What about all the amazing transportation services that are going on now? Even people that are driving Uber, there is Uber for seniors. What about those people? Caregiver support groups, faith community leaders and centers. Look for partners who value education, safety, dignity, and trust. Those are the ones you want, the people that will treat your clients the same way you would treat your clients. That's really what's important when you're looking at the individual person, not just what they do. The 6 qualities that I think are important to look for are access to your audience. Who has access to your audience? Who is your audience using? Are they, visiting specific restaurants? There's nothing wrong with going into restaurants and maybe giving presentations there or talking to the manager. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be creative in what you can come up with some of these places. What are some complementary services? What are things that you don't do that your clients need? And then look for those people and look for those companies. If they have a strong reputation, if they exhibit trust, dignity, if they're on time when they go to places, if they have good reviews. And then your values have to be aligned. If they are hard selling kind of businesses and you're not, well, then that's not aligned with your set of values. So get your set of values for your business down first. That way you have an idea of what to look for when you're speaking to someone or when you're interviewing people. Because basically that is what you are. You are interviewing people to be in your circle of trusted referrals. All right. There's a story here. Mom can't handle the stairs anymore. Actually, that would be a very good title for an article. I think I'm going to steal that. So a realtor can hear this from an adult daughter and not know whether the family should either sell or remodel or bring in more support. There's so many different things. So if you are the home assessment person and the realtor is not, if you are the occupational therapist, physical therapist. You can become invaluable in this situation when you help that realtor understand the options so that they can guide their client confidently. Or you can certainly go in to do your thing, and the realtor can, of course, refer you to them. Now, there is the issue, of course, of, payback. Some companies will get a referral from you and pay you for that referral. And some may not. It just depends on the size of the company. If it's solopreneurs, they usually don't. If it's larger companies, they may. Either way, it don't have a set in stone type of thing, like you will only do it if you get paid, because you want to grow with good quality people, and that can sometimes be very difficult to find. So don't discount it if you don't get a referral fee. All right, so you should steps to take. 1, choose 10 to 20 professionals who serve your same audience and start focused on a small curated list and beats the giant unfocused one. Just start with 10 to 20 that you can come up with, that you can start talking to on LinkedIn, meeting, having lunch, breakfast, whatever with them, coffee, anything like that. 2, introduce yourself, of course. Reach out with something simple, warm, helpful message. I don't know, provide them with some checklists that they can use, that they can brand under their own company, maybe with a link to your website, whatever. Exchange articles for your blogs, any type of collaboration that you can do to work together. Educate, share useful information. Walk into the elder law attorney's office and explain aging in place process, explain occupational therapy, explain, what you see as a geriatrician or what you see as a decluttering, expert, whatever. Explain your services to them so that they not only would refer to you, but then they can try to understand their clients as well, because they get those clients. And stay visible. The most important thing I could tell you about anything having to do with marketing is to be persistent. Keep doing it and keep doing it. But it doesn't mean to stay stuck in whatever you're doing. If something doesn't work, change it. Be flexible enough to change it. Okay, this plan that I had, for marketing out, I don't know, checklists, whatever, it's not working. It's not. So what else can I do to beef that up? Or maybe I should just stop that or change it somehow. Whatever. Don't be afraid to do that. But continue to work on it. Don't just do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You need to do a good amount. A friend of mine used to write romance novels, and she wrote 4, I think, but she spoke to someone who did romance novels as a profession, and that person said, oh no, you need at least 10 to 20 before you can even begin to make a dime. That's just the way it is. And that's the same with anything having to do with marketing, especially nowadays. So what to say when you reach out to these professionals? It can be something simple, and it can be the same script, and you can modify it a little bit, but you definitely want to be friendly. You want to, of course, be professional, and you want to be warm and inviting. You don't want to just come out and say, hey, I think you would be really good for my referral network. Give me a call. You want to say, hey, I came across your work. It looks really amazing. I'm very interested in what you do. Can we sit and chat for a while? I work with families who I think you work with as well. And this is what I do. I think we can complement our services. Would you like to get together somehow? Or I don't care if it's a Zoom call or coffee at the coffee house, whatever. And then always follow up, whether you hear back from them. Of course, if you hear back from them, you're going to follow up on that. But if you don't hear back from them, leave enough time, 7 to 10 days, and then follow up. And these are just some sample messages that you can send, of course, modify it to meet whatever it is that you need. It's low pressure. You're not forcing them to be in your circle. They may already be in another circle of referrals. Who knows? but it's important to reach out. And I have found LinkedIn to be amazing to do that. So you may want to start there. And you always want to stay on top. And this is what I mean by being persistent. You always want to keep providing good, valuable information. Because just like any relationship, if you don't work at it, it's going to fall to the wayside. So you want to practice follow-up ideas. You want to send helpful articles once a month if you can. That would really be awesome. You invite them to short educational webinars, whether it's online or in person. You always, comment or like whatever their LinkedIn posts. Offer lunch and learn. Those are great for doctor's offices and any kind of business offices. And, create one-page resource sheets or checklists or workbooks, anything at all that you can put together that has your name on it, that will let them know, hey, this person does this A, B, and C, and I don't do that, but my client needs A, B, and C. Let's refer to them. But you have to get to know them. You have to speak with them. I myself speak to 3-4 people a day. More, it seems like lately. Hence, I'm doing the webinar late at night. But it's very important to talk with people so they get to see you, they get to know you and understand why you do what you do, how you do what you do, and what benefit is it to their clients. Because if they refer a good person to their client, then that looks really good on them. Of course, that's like the good restaurant that you refer that hopefully stays good. So even well-intentioned professionals can undermine the referral process effort with some missteps. So these are some common things to avoid. 1, asking too soon. Meeting somebody for coffee. I can never get that Brooklyn coffee out. Anyway, meeting somebody for coffee, tea, whatever. And, within a few minutes, asking for referrals or saying, hey, I do this, I do that. I've been to a lot of networking groups to promote my businesses, and I hate that. That is such a turn off when people do that. I mean, it's like they don't really want to get to know you. They don't want anything. They just want to give you their card or their flyer or whatever so that you can refer business to them. And those end up in the trash right away, because I want nothing to do with somebody like that, because they're selling. They're not educating, and they don't care what I do. They don't want to know me. They just want my list of clients. So being unclear what you do. It's another thing that I see a lot in networking groups, is where people announce their titles. And honestly, I see that in LinkedIn too. They announce their titles, or they announce that, some fancy word of a phrase of what it is, that it's a technical phrase of, I don't have no idea what they do. So you want to be very clear. And that's where going from I help seniors to I help adult children of aging parents to help their parents to age safely, however, some kind of phrase like that. It's longer, yeah, I know, but it really puts the picture of what it is that you do. And frankly, I don't know about you, but I don't remember people's names very well. It takes me a long time to remember names, but I always remember the stories. So if you can make your introduction a story, then they will remember you for that, especially if it's a funny story. Only reaching out when you need business. You don't want to do that. You want to contact people on a regular basis. So that's like the monthly newsletter. And look, if you only have 10 people in your referral network, that you refer to, they refer back to you, it's not going to be very hard to send out a card or a postcard, or to pick up the phone once a month to contact 10 people, a newsletter, an email, hey, I just saw this story in the news, I thought of you, and did you hear about this? Anything at all to keep you in front of them, and hopefully they will do the same back to you as well. Forgetting to thank for a referral source. Always thank them, always, right away. Don't wait. If it happens on Friday, don't wait until Monday. Do it right away. And ignoring unexpected partners. Some of the most valuable referrals that you're going to get may come from people outside that immediate niche that you weren't that you're so familiar with. You don't want to if somebody comes to you that you had never expected that you could work together with, don't ignore them. Accept them. Think of creative ways to use them, and they could maybe use you as well. You don't want to turn away any work if you can. I heard somebody once in a podcast a couple of months ago. He said that he goes on he's invited to a lot of podcasts and he never turns one down. He doesn't care if it's a brand new podcast or if it's a podcast that's been around for 10 years, if they've got 4 people listening or 80,000 people. He doesn't care. For him, it's an experience to practice, being a guest on a podcast. And plus, you never know which podcast or which YouTube video or whatever is going to go viral. I mean, the person with 4 listeners could be an amazing interviewer. You don't know. So don't say no unless it's, completely irrelevant. All right. So your to-do list, your action plan. I love action plans and lists because it gives me guidance of something to do. So make your list. Write down 15 referrals, 10 referrals, whatever, 20 referrals. 15 is just a number. Possible referrals in your local area, or if you do virtual, your virtual area, and include professionals, from each different sector, as many different sectors as you can think of. And choose the first 5 to start with, and then send an introduction. Choose the resource to share. It's always good to share something with them because it shows you're giving them something. I don't care. It could be an AI prompt. It could be a checklist. It could be a lesson in how to use an AI program, maybe. Anything. Whatever it is that you know that they don't know, help them to gain that skill and that knowledge base. Believe me, all the information is out there and anybody can look for it. It's just that people don't have the time to look for it or don't know how to look for it. So don't be afraid that you're giving out anything, amazing that is only It's everything is out there nowadays. So, but your job is that, or what you can bring to the table is that you can make it easy and simple and relatable to them. So if you can do that, then that's a great thing to bring to them, a great source. And always set up your follow-up reminders, put it in your calendar. If you spoke to Mary Jane today, then put it on your calendar that in 7 days you're going to call her back or send a follow-up email, whatever. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to have a perfect system right from the get-go. It's going to take you some time, but that's okay. The process is a process. Just keep working on it. And before you know it, you're going to have a really great circle of referrals that you can work with back and forth. Learning sticks when we apply it in the moment. Like I said, if it's something happens on Friday, don't wait until Monday. Use these prompts right here that I'm giving you to engage attendees and help them personalize what they heard. You can, reflection questions are great. Who already serves the same families that you want to reach? Take 60 seconds to write down 3 names or professions. Do a live poll, do a quick exercise, a script rewrite. These moments of active participation when you're doing a presentation or even when you're just talking with someone. When you're talking with someone, you can say, can you give me, 3 professions that come to mind right now that you're working with or that you would like to work with? I mean, maybe I have that in my referral circle and I can exchange that with you or I can introduce you to them. You can change these prompts in any way that you like, whether you're talking one-on-one with somebody or in a group setting, any way that you like. I think it's important to invite people in, ask them, tell them what you know, but ask them. Asking and listening always pays off better than talking, I think. Although I know in these webinars I do all the talking. But okay, so the key takeaways. Referrals come from trust, not pressure. Educate, educate, educate. The best partners already are serving your audience. So find them, find where they are, be creative. Clear language makes you easier to refer. So sharpen your message. Don't use fancy industry lingo. Explain exactly what it is that you do. What problem are you solving? And follow-up matters more than one perfect, amazing introduction. And don't forget, people remember stories, not names. And start with a small focused group and then grow from there. Because you don't know that the people that you meet know people as well, and you grow that way as well. All right, so next webinar, I am going to talk about these things. I'm going to work on these. One-page referral partner sheet, LinkedIn networking, how to host a lunch and learn, and creating referral scripts that feel natural. So that's what's coming up in the next webinars. So I hope that this webinar was useful for you. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I will see you next time. Take care.